Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing fantastic. A warm welcome to the Expert Edge Masterclass, proudly brought to you by Shine.com. We are so excited to have you with us today as we dive into our topic data driven web application with SQL and Django. Think about the last time you scrolled through Instagram, pinned an idea on Pinterest, or streamed your favorite song on Spotify, all in real time. So let's welcome Mr. Waseem. He is our host today. He is good. In today's session, we are going to explore SQL and Django. So over to you, Mr. Waseem.
Hi Preeti and hi all panelists of the Shine.com. First of all, thank you very much for considering me for this wonderful opportunity to speak on your well-known platform and giving my webinar to the participants. So before starting with the session, let me ask whether my voice is clear to all.
It is clear, Waseem.
Okay, thank you for confirming. So as we are going to start the session, first of all, let me introduce myself, but who am I and what I do. And then we are going to deep dive into the topic of Django and SQL for developing the data-driven web applications. So my name is Waseem Attar, and I am the corporate trainer and subject matter expert at InfoStack Software Development Research and Training Center. And I'm having the 8 years of experience in developing various kind of web applications on various kinds of tech stacks like Java, Python, React, and Angular. And I have delivered various kind of data-driven applications in various industries, which are scalable and working based on the uh, uh, product life cycle. So in today's session, we are going to deep dive that how these data-driven web applications are actually developed, what is the role of Python programming, what is the role of Django, what is the role of SQL, and how to uh, collect all these things and build an application so that we can have the interactive data web application. Okay, so shall we start?
Yeah, Waseem, I think we can start.
Okay. So first of all, let me share my screen with you. So is my screen visible to you?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. So basically, in today's session, first of all, we will break down the entire process that what exactly we have to do before building any specific web application and connecting it with the SQL database. So I will just list out all the points that what we are going to cover today's in today's session. So first of all, creating a Django application. Number two, creating a sample database in SQL. And number three, we have to create an app that communicates with the database. Then we will learn how to perform CRUD applications, and we will learn how to integrate the operations with the web app. Clear? So these 5 steps we are going to follow in this particular session. And basically, when we complete these 5 processes, when we complete these 5 steps, then we can say that we have built a basic application. Today in this session, we will be building a simple basic applications that perform the CRUD operations on the database, and we'll see that how this data will be operated using the web applications. Okay, so let's go with the first step. Let me share my another screen with you. Just a second. Is the screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible,
Okay.
but Zoom
Okay.
screen.
Yeah. And now is it visible, the VS Code screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's go and create the first step, that is creating a Django application. So to do these all stuffs, I will require the number of tools that I'm going to list out here. Number one, for coding, I will use VS Code application. For SQL client, I'll be using my SQL workbench, and the CMD tool I'll be using for running the project. Okay. To run the project, I'll use a CMD or the terminal. And for SQL client, I will be using my SQL workbench. And to write the entire code, I'll be using VS Code. Okay. So let's go on CMD and first build the project. So I'm going to open CMD command prompt, and to run the command, first of all, I will have to create a directory for my project. So in my computer itself, I'm going to create a folder in D drive. I'm going to create a new folder, Shine webinar. Okay. And inside this folder, I will be putting all the stuffs of today's webinar. So I will go in D drive, Shine webinar. Now in this thing, first of all, I will have to build the virtual environment. So for that thing, I have to execute the first command, that is Python -m. And yes, you have to make sure that Python is installed in your system by default. If Python is not installed, first of all, you will have to get the Python software downloaded, the interpreter of Python. You will have to download, and then you will have to run this command. So how to check Python is installed or not? Python -- version. So yes, the Python version is displayed as Python 3.13.1. So this is the Python installation in my computer. So now I am able to proceed with the project creation. So I will execute the command Python -m venv, and the name of virtual environment I will put as venv itself. So it will take some time and create a virtual environment in the Shine webinar folder. And I will have to activate that virtual environment. So first of all, run the command venv and scripts activate. So I have activated the virtual environment so that all the respective modules, all the respective directories will be created in this venv only. So the minified version of all the setup is now put inside this virtual environment, and I can download and install the packages in this virtual environment. So the next command, the most important, how to create the Django project, or how to create the Django application. I will have to run Django admin space the project name that no, not project name. You will have to write the command start project followed by the project name. Here I'm going to put the project name as company project. Okay. So company project will be my project name. I'm going to put this command and press enter. So you can see Django admin is not recognized. That means first of all, we will have to get Django installed in our virtual environment. So the next command you have to do is pip install Django. Okay. So basically when we install this Django software, it will be installed in our virtual environment. Let me show you in the Shine folder. Shine webinar folder, we have this VENV, and whenever I install any external package, that will come inside this lib site packages. Okay, you can check the installation in this lib site packages. Let me show you. First of all, I will execute this command pip install Django. So it will get installing the Django software in my computer. Okay, once installed, you can go and check inside the lib folder. Inside packages, you can see all the respective directories of Django are created in this folder. Okay, if you can see this, you can confirm whether you have installed the Django software in a computer. And meanwhile, let me show you the official website of Django also. So straight away, you can search for Django. It will redirect you to djangoproject.com. This is the official website. And from here also you can learn everything that how to get Django downloaded, how to get started with Django, how to build a basic application. They have also given you the step-by-step guide to download and install and run with your projects. So let's back to our terminal that we have downloaded and installed the Django. Now let's try the previous command Django admin start project. So I'm going to execute this command once again. Uh, so you have to give another name. I'm just going to give company, press enter. So this command has executed. Let's check here whether we have created the project. So you can see the folder with name company is created over here. And there are respective files present in this company folder. What are those? Let me explain. I will explain you everything. But before that, uh, let's open this folder in the VS Code. So just cd company. So I have moved inside the company folder, and here I'll write the code. So I will open the VS Code instance from this folder only. So now you can see here I have opened the company project. Inside this, we have a company folder, and there is a file. We call it as manage.file, manage.py. This Python file is having the main method present inside this. And this will be the starting point of your application. So whenever we are running any Django project, we are going to run it from here. So the command Python space manage.py will be managing all the execution part of your Django application. Let's see inside the company folders, we are having multiple files created automatically. That is init.py. So init.py is for initialization, any default data or any initial data you want to put in your files. So that init.py is the file for it. Settings.py, this is the important file again, where you are going to define all the things like your installed application in your project, the middleware, the templates of your application, the database connectivity will be done over here. So this is how this file is having all kind of settings or configuration of your Django application. urls.py is again another important file where you are having the URL mapping of your different web pages, your website. So these are the three important files we have to work with. And this is the Django project we have created. Now inside this project, we have to create one application first. That the application will be having all the respective CRUD operations we are going to define in. So how to define the application? Then we have to execute the next command. And that command will be directly executed inside this company folder. Okay. So what I have to write here, Python space manage.py, and you have to write another command, that is start app, and give the space, and you have to write employees. So basically we are going to build the application for employees, and that is for managing the employees data in this company application. I'm going to create the app named as employees and press enter. So the app is created. You can see here another folder is created over here inside the company application that is named as employees. And what is there inside this employees? Inside the employees, we are having again a bunch of files. So what are those files? So we are having migrations. Migrations means whenever we make any configuration related to database and all, we'll have to do the migrations. So all the changes, all the models we have defined, those will be migrated to your SQL. And then we are having admin.py, that is whatever the administration stuff you are going to define, that will be put inside this admin.py. Apps.py is again to put the application related configuration over here, like default automatic field or the name of your application that is mentioned over here. Models.py, that is the file required for performing the database related operations over here. And then test.py to write the test cases. And in the end, we can see the views.py file where we are going to map the views. Mapping the views means what? We are going to put the design somewhere else, and we are going to put the data related operation somewhere else, and we are going to merging all these things in views.py file, so that whenever I'm requesting any web page or whenever I'm requesting any resource, basically views.py will be managing all those web page related stuff and giving you the data back on your uh, web application. So this is how the file structure we have present in this employees application. So more configurations we will have to do, like we'll have to create the urls.py application. But before that, I have to add this employees application in the company. Why? Because you have to understand the hierarchy first. That company is a big project developed in Django. And inside that project, we are having employees as an application. So a project can have multiple applications, and multiple applications can be used in multiple projects. Means what? Suppose you are building an application employees in this project, that application can be used in another project also. Why? Because we are going to promote here the feature of reusability. So we are going to build the reusable applications in this respective uh, project. So employees is an application, and I'm going to build this application as a reusable module. Okay, and I can merge this module in any other project also. So now we have to work on these two things initially, and later on I'll be adding more things, that URLs, configuration and all. So first of all, I want to add this application, this employees application in the company. Why? Because company is the project, and company project is having employee application as a part. So we have to make the entry of employees in this project. So how can I do it? First of all, go in the settings.py. In settings.py, I have to add the application. Where should I have added? I have to add it in the installed apps. array. You can see here it's an array, or in Python programming, we call it as a list. So installed apps is a list created in this application definition. So these are the comma separated values. Just put your application name over here. The application name as it is, you have to put as employees. Okay, that's it. So now this employees application is added in your project. Okay, now we have to test this application. How can we test? How can we run the application whether we have built all the things are correctly or not? So go on the command prompt again, and you have to run another command, that is Python space manage.py. And once you write this, you have to write the next command, that is run server. So once you execute this run server command, then you will be able to see some output on this command line interface, and you'll be able to see the URL they are providing us. We have to use that URL to run the application. So I'm going to run this application. You can see here, as soon as I execute the run server command, the server has started, the development server has started on this URL. Simply I can click on this URL, or I can copy this URL and paste in my web browser. So I'm just going to put inside the web browser, execute it. Once you see this output window, that means you have successfully built your project. Okay, if you are able to see this output window, that means your project is working fine. And one more thing I would like to add over here, that Django comes with the administrative portal as well. In another applications, we have to build the admin portal, but Django comes by default with admin portal, in which we can put our own business logic, so that there is no need to work on any another stuff of developing the administrative portal. So let me show you here. Just I will put admin and press enter. So you can see here the Django administration window will directly open in front of you. Uh, okay, so let's try with another URL, that is employees, whether my employees URL is working or not. When I press enter, you can see the employees URL is currently not executing, and it shows the error like you have to put the URL configuration same like the administrator. As we have administrative dashboard over here, we also have to add the employees path in the URL. So that thing we are going to do later on. Currently, we are going to just working with the SQL Wala part. Okay. So the number one step we have completed. Step number one we have completed. That is creating the Django application. This step we have done. Now we are going to go with the second step, that is creating a sample database in SQL. So for that thing, I'm going to open the SQL client, that is my SQL workbench. So make sure you're installed with workbench software already, and before that you have installed the MySQL server in your computer. So just connect with the MySQL instance, put your password. So we are having this window in front of us. Here I will create one database. So I'm going to create a sample database over here. I'm creating the database named as company DB and execute the command. So database has created. If you get the green tick, that means your database is created. Now, just we can view what is there inside the database. I'm refreshing over here. You can see the database is listed over here, company DB. And inside this company DB, there is no table, no views, no store procedure, and no functions currently. Suppose I want to create any table, I will have to execute the create table command and create procedure command, create function command. But let me give you a good news that with the help of Django, there is no need to do these all kind of things. Why? Because Django is a framework which works on ORM. So I hope you all are aware about the ORM. ORM stands for Object Relational Mapping. So Django works with object relational mapping, in which we are having the relationship with the database in the form of objects. That means what? As I have shown you that we have the models.py over here, in which I will be building the different kinds of classes like employee, student, employee, employer, employee,
Sorry everyone, I think Waseem is facing some network issue. I'm so sorry for that. He is joining within a minute. Sorry everyone, I just got a message from him. He's here.
uh, uh, regretted that network issues was there. So am I audible now?
You are audible.
Okay, thank you. I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, okay, thank you. So as we were discussing that the model is the class file is the file in Python that is responsible for allowing us to define the models, and the models are in short going to be the tables in your SQL database. So how it will happen, we have to do it right now. So before integrating the SQL database with our Django application, we have to do again some installation process first. So let me go in that terminal window again. Okay. For now, I'm going to turn off the server. So just simply press Control C button so that the server will now terminated. Now we have to do the second configuration over here, or we are going to do the second step of our implementation, that is creating sample database and performing the communication in the application and the database. That is the third step. Create an app that communicates with the database and perform the CRUD operation. So for that thing, first of all, to bridge the gap between the MySQL database and your Django application, you have to install the MySQL client in your Django application. So simply write one command over here, pip install MySQL client. Okay, you have to execute this command, MySQL client, and press enter. So it will download and install the MySQL client package from the internet in your application. Now you are able to connect the database with your application. Now, how to connect it? How do we provide the credentials and how do we perform all this connectivity operation so that we can make the communication happen between the application and the database? That thing we are going to learn. So first of all, go in your application and in the company project, you are having settings.py. Previously, I have showed this file to you, settings.py. In settings.py, where we are having the object or the tick of databases. We have this dictionary databases. Inside this dict, we have to make the connectivity. That how do we perform the connection? So first of all, we have to write here. Actually, this database connection is done for SQLite, but we are going to make the connectivity with MySQL database. So just first of all, you have to change over here. Just replace SQLite 3 with MySQL and the name of your database. Actually, they have given the configuration with db.sqlite3 that is present over here in this your root folder itself of your project. But ultimately, we are not going to connect with it. So I'm going to delete it and making my own connection. So the name of my database is company DB. You can confirm it over here in my workbench. The database name is company DB. So I'm putting is as it is company DB. So I have put the database name as company DB. Again, I have to put the remaining configuration, like from which user I'm going to connect with the database. So you have to put a user and you'll have to give the username. Currently, I'm connecting the database with root user. Then putting the password over here. I'll put password. Currently, I'm having the root password as admin. I have put it as simple as I can integrate very easily with the application. So my password is admin. And who is the host of this database? So currently, we are connecting with the local host. To simply put here local host. And in the end, we have to put on which port number we are going to connect our application. So the port number I'm going to put is 3306. This is the default port number of MySQL database. So this is the configuration you have to do when you are going to connect any application with MySQL database. So once you have done this, next thing we have to apply the migrations. I will come back to the migrations wala part again that I have shown you. Uh, First of all, save this file and come in the terminal window. And you have to run two different commands. First one is Python manage.py make migrations. Okay. So currently there is no change detected. Why? Because we have not built any models in the application. And second command you have to run is migrate Python manage.py migrate. So you can see some stuff is happening over here, that some migrations are applied over here, like admin, auth, content types, sessions. So these kind of migrations are done. And what is the effect of these all things? This application means what? What exactly happened? Let's see in the SQL client. Now, suppose I refresh over here, you can see there are some tables added in your SQL, and we can execute the show tables command. So we can list out all the tables. Sorry, first of all, we have to open the database. So use company DB and then show the tables. So you can see all the tables are listed over here. Whichever the table Django has created, these all are the tables related to user authentication, user permissions, administrator. Currently, we are not going to touch all these tables. Later on, we can discuss about them. Currently, we have to create our own tables. Now, how can we create our own tables? These are the system default tables or the administrative tables which Django has created. I want to create my table. So first of all, let's go in the third step, that is creation of models. How can I create the models in my application? I'll show you the third step, that how to perform CRUD operations and communication with the database. So for that thing, uh, inside the employees folder, we have the models.py file. Here we can see they're asking us to create your own models over here. So how can I create my own models? So these models are nothing but the classes we are going to create. So if you are going to build any Django application, make sure that you are having the object-oriented concepts clear in your going to help you out over here. So first of all, employee class in my uh, application. So I'm going to create the class employee. Okay. And this employee class will be inheriting from the models class. So I will have to put here models dot model. So this model is our class, and this model is nothing but the model we have imported from the Django.db. You can see the import statement over here. The import statement is given as from Django.db import models. And we are having uh, this super class that we have to inherit in this employee class. So first of all, make this inheritance. And then we are going to define the fields which are going to be added in this employee table. So first of all, the basic and the most important field I will require, that is employee ID. So I will put EMP ID, and this EMP ID will be the primary key of my table. So I hope you all people are aware about the primary key concept. That is the column in your table which is responsible for uniquely identify any record or any data from your table. So I want this employee ID as the primary key in my SQL table. So how can I do it? I will have to write models dot autofilled. So what is this autofilled? As I have already told you that Django is a object relational model database concept. So models.autofilled, it will be creating an automatically incremental field in my SQL database. That means the employee ID column will be auto increment column, and yes, it will be my primary key also. So to mention it as a primary key, I will put here the attribute primary key is equals to true. So if I write this statement, employee ID is equal to models.autofilled primary key equal to 2, that means my employee ID is now my primary key, and this primary key will be the auto increment key. Let me put comment over here. Okay, so this is my primary key and auto increment column. Next, property I want to add in the employee database or employee table, that will be employee name. So EMP name, and the data type for the EMP name column will be varchar in SQL. In SQL, we use the varchar data type for storing the strings as well as their size we have to mention. But in Django, we have to do it differently. That is models dot char field. The char field is nothing but the character field that we are mentioning over here. That EMP name will be my character field, and we have to mention the size for EMP name, that is max length. We have to give the max length attribute. The max length of employee name will be 50. That means I'm allowing the employee to put the 50 characters of the name in the SQL database. Okay. The same way, I'm going to put EMP designation, employee designation. And here the designation will also be the character field. The char field, that is max length of 50, 50 characters. And the last field I'm going to create, that is not last field, actually I want to add again employee mobile number, EMP mobile. So model dot char field, and max length will be 10 digits or 10 characters. And then in the end, I will put EMP salary. Now, salary is not string data. We have to perform such kind of calculations on the salary. So basically, what I'm going to do here, model dot uh, numeric field. So we have the integer field, and that's it. You can put it as it is. So you can see here, the employee ID is automatic field or auto field, which is the primary key. Employee name is the character field and its maximum length is 50 characters. Employee designation is another field, which is varchar, that means character field in Django, and its maximum length is 50 characters again. Employee mobile is having maximum length of 10 characters, and employee salary is the integer field, so we are not going to mention any limit for it. And again, the toString method we are going to define over here. So def underscore underscore str. So what will happen over here? We are going to return the string object just for debugging purpose. I'm going to put it over here. So I'll write the return statement in formatted output, that is self dot emp id, then self dot emp name, then self.emp designation, self.emp mobile, and self.emp salary. So basically what I'm doing here, I'm just printing out all the fields present in this employee table. Okay. So this is the class in our Django project, but this is going to be your database table in your MySQL database. So we have completed this step, that's defining the model. Now, how can we perform the database related operations over here? What are the different things we have to do before running this database operations over? Let's see. As soon as I add any models, these are not going to work directly on your SQL. First of all, what you'll have to do, I will have to again run the migration commands. So there are some changes we have done in our company database or the company models. So first of all, I will have to run the migration commands. So I'm going to run here Python manage.py make migrations, run this command. So you can see here, there is one migration create model employee. Okay. And then run the migrate command. So when we do this migrate command execution, the migration is done. If we see this OK message, that means our migration is successfully done to the SQL database. Now, if you see here the show tables command again to confirm whether your table is created or not, you can see in the end, there is one table given as employees underscore employee. This is our actual table. Let's see. Let's describe this table whether we have built all these things correctly or not. So you can confirm with describe command, describe employees underscore employee. So in the description, you can see all the things. The employee ID, it is of type integer by default. And as you know, the primary key is never null, never repeated. So null property is already given as no. It is a primary key. So PRI attribute is mentioned over here. And extra attribute is given as auto increment. That means this employee ID is an auto increment field and it is a primary key. Number two, we are having the employee name, which is having varchar 50 of the data type. That means it is a varchar data type with maximum 50 characters allowed in the employee name. Employee designation is again allowing only the 50 characters varchar data type. Employee mobile number, it is allowing us maximum 10 characters to store the 10 digits mobile number. And employee salary, which is the integer field. That means we are going to put the integer data into the database. So that means we have successfully connected the database with our Django application. I hope everybody is giving proper attention and everybody is understanding what I'm doing over here. So at any instance you feel bored, you can just raise your hand here. You can put the message in chat box. Any concern, any question, you can ask me in the chat box. Okay. So can we proceed for the next steps? The most important thing, that is how to perform the CRUD operation, or how do we perform the create, read, update, and delete operations on the database. So let's do it. So as we have built the model now, I want to perform the CRUD operations. So in Django project, we are getting one more facility that directly connecting all the database related stuff with views and templates. We can first have uh, the testing or the command execution in the shell. That shell window is provided by Django administrator. So we can run the command in shell. How do we run and how do we execute the shell commands in our terminal, that we will see. So come in the terminal, and first of all, I will just clear the entire screen. Why? Because there is too much stuff on the screen. So CLS command, I am executing to clear the screen and execute the command Python space manage.py and then run the command shell. So as soon as I execute this command, I am now entered in the interactive console of Python programming or Python shell, where I can execute the basic Python commands over here directly, and I can perform the basic CRUD operations on the data directly from here. So how can I perform? How can I execute those commands? Let's see. First of all, I will have to import the model, which model we have created over here, that is employee model. That employee model I have to import here in the shell. So how can I import it? From employee dot models import employee from employees dot models. That means what? You can see here we have the employees application. Inside this employees application, we have module named as models.py, and inside this models.py, we have this employee class. So I'm executing this command from employees models import employee. So run this command. The import statement has executed successfully. Now, as I told you that this is the entire system based on ORM. So we have to work with the objects, we have to build the objects, and we have to save the data into the databases. So first command we are going to learn, we are going to execute, that is how to build the object of employee and how to put the data in employee object and how that data is going to store in this SQL database table. Currently, I'm going to show you by executing the select command, select employees underscore employee. Okay, select all from employees underscore employee. So when I execute this command, you can see there is no data currently present in this database table. Now I am going to add the data in the database table. How can I add the data? So I will execute the shell command. And in the shell command, I'm going to write, I'm going to build an object. So I'm going to build the object named as EMP. EMP is equals to employee. I hope you know the Python object-oriented concepts in which how to build the object. We have to write the object name is equal to the name of your class. Currently, we have the name of our class as employee. And inside this employee constructor, I will have to pass all the values. Like the first value is EMP ID. So I'll pass here EMP ID. You can directly pass EMP ID as 101. That is also okay. Or you can mention the named parameters like EMP ID is equals to 101, comma. The second field is EMP name. So EMP name is equals to, I'm putting my name, Waseem. Okay. Then EMP designation. The designation I'm putting as trainer. Okay. And then number EMP mobile is equals to the mobile number, random numbers I'm putting over here, 10 digits mobile number I'm putting, and then the salary. Okay, the salary, let's suppose 50,000. Okay, so this is the object we are going to create. Press enter, your object is created. You can just simply put EMP. You can see the object is displayed like this, employee object with values 101, name is Waseem, designation is trainer, and the mobile number and the salary is 50,000. This is just a simple Python object. But now what we want to do, I want to save this data into the database. So what can I do? This is very important command. I will just write emp dot save. I'll just write emp dot save, open and close brackets. And when I execute this command, the command is executed, the save command is executed. Let's see what change is happened in this database. When I execute the select all command once again in the MySQL client, you can see the magic. The database is now having one row inserted into the database table. You see how simple it is. What we have done, we have created one application inside the project. That application is connected with the MySQL client, and then the application we have defined the class, and the class is now migrated with the SQL database. So the table is created, and we are having just short methods like save method, get method, all method. So all these kind of methods I'm going to show you. Just a second, guys. Okay, let's continue. So as we have saved the data of employee, I'm going to save any another data. So what I will do, I will just replace the values over here, or else I will create another object again. EMP is equals to employee. Now let's check the auto increment feature also that we have already added in the model, that it is an auto field. Employee ID is the auto field. Let's confirm whether it is automatically inserting the data or not. So I'm going to build another object, employee object. Inside this employee object, now I am not putting the employee ID field. I'm not going to mention the employee ID field directly. I'm putting the rest of the fields like employee name, employee designation, and employee mobile number and employee salary. So for that thing, first of all, create EMP name. EMP name is equals to Alex. Employee name is Alex. Designation, I'm going to put the designation as HR. Okay. Next, the mobile number, employee mobile number. I'm going to put something like 45678912330. Okay. And the salary of employee. So the salary of Alex, I'm going to put as 35,000. Okay. And I have built this object. Now, suppose I want to again save this data. I will have to write emp dot save command. So I have executed the save command. Now let's see in the SQL again. So you can see as we have done here, the insertion 102 is the auto increment value for the second row. So employee ID 102, employee name Alex, designation is HR, mobile number, and the respective salary of Alex. So this is how we have inserted the data. The third way we can insert the data, that too also I'm going to show. That is with the help of employee objects. So this is another way actually that I'm going to show. EMP is equals to employee dot object dot create. This is another method, employee dot objects dot create. Here I am going to put again employee name. Employee name is equal to John. EMP designation is equals to CTO. Okay. Next, EMP mobile. Some random numbers I'm putting. Okay. And make sure you are going to put the single quotations. And in the end, we are mentioning the salary. Salary as 87,000. Okay. Let's execute the command. The command is executed. Let's see what happens over here in the database. So you can see the new row is already added into the database. So basically, there are two ways to insert the data into the database. Number one is using the save method, or another one is the create method. Basically, create is a two-way method. That is, it is building the object as well as it is storing the data into the database. So you can prefer any of these two. You are having the freedom that you can prefer any of these two. So now you can see we have executed the create command, that is storing the data into the database, that we have stored 3 entries in the database. Now I want to fetch the data from the database. How can we fetch the data? That is another important thing. So how to fetch the data? I will build an object E or EMP. EMP is equal to employee dot objects dot all. There is a simple method given as all. So what will happen if I execute this all method? The command is executed and I want to print the data, just simply put EMP over here. So you can see here we have returned a query set list. And what is there? You can see all the objects which we have inserted into the database. It is executing like select all from data, select all from the employee table. As we execute here, select all from employees underscore employee. This command we are executing in the MySQL table. the same command we are executing with the all method. So very short method, very easy method again. When we execute this all method, you can see all the results are written in the list format, and these all results are again in the form of object. Employee object with value 101, Waseem, trainer, the mobile number, and value 50,000 for salary. Same like this, we have three different objects. Object number one, object number two, and object number three, which are present already in the MySQL database, along with their auto-incremented value. Okay, so this was the command to fetch out all the data from the database. Suppose I want to access any respective value. Suppose the I want to access the mobile number of Alex. So Alex is present on the second index, the first index. As per the list data structure, the first object is on 0th index, second object is on the first index, and third object is on the second index. So I want to first fetch out the mobile number of Alex, which is on the first index. So simply I will write emp of 1. Let's see what happens. What does it return? Returns only the data object of Alex. And if I write emp of 1 dot emp mobile, make sure we're going to mention the correct attribute name. You can see only the mobile number is returned over here. Suppose I want to fetch out the salary of John, who is the CTO and whose index number is 2. So emp of 2 dot emp, sorry, emp2 and emp salary. Okay, so this is how we can fetch out the single values. Another thing, suppose you want to perform the iterations on this list, the list is having more than one data, as you can see, and I want to perform the iterations on these all values. So yes, I can take the help of Python's for in loop again. So I'll write for emp or for e in employees, and just put e dot in the print statement. I will write I'm just going to print the name and the designation. Okay, so the name and designation. Okay, so inside the for loop, I have mentioned two fields, and I'm also going to the line separator so that we'll be having a systematic output. So I'll just press enter for 2 times. Employees. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, the name is EMP. I have given the wrong name over here. So again, I will have to do again EMP. Let me just copy paste all these things. And the third is the line separator. So you can see the step by step, all the values, name Waseem, name Alex, HR, and name John. Designation is CTO. So this is how we can also perform the loop actions and fetch the data. Now let's come to fetching a single data. Suppose I want to fetch the data of employee ID 102. 102, I don't write the ID, and based ID, I will be put the data. With the help, we executed call method. Now we are going to execute get method, where I'm going to put pk is equals to 1.
Sorry, everyone, he is facing network issue.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, Vaseem. Yeah,
Preeti,
you're
am I
audible.
audible? Okay, thank you. Okay, so we were discussing about fetching out the data for employee ID 102. So I have put here the command like this and press enter. So all the data is fetched out inside this EMP object, and simply put here the EMP object. You can see now the data fetched for only employee ID 102. Okay, so data is now fetched out for employee ID 102. Let's suppose I want to fetch out any another data for employee ID 101. So what I will do here, pk is equal to 101 and press enter and put the EMP command to print the data. So you can see now the data is fetched for employee 101. And suppose I want to just fetch out any respective field for role employee ID 101. So what I will do, emp dot emp id, emp name. I just want to get to know who is employee for employee ID 101. So emp.emp name command will execute and will give me the output as Waseem. So I hope you all are able to understand this thing, that with the help of ORM concept, we can execute the basic simple methods and get the connectivity with the database and perform the CRUD operations on the data. The same way, now we are going to perform the update execution and delete execution. Suppose I want to update any data. So that is also very simple. Let me show. Suppose I want to update the data for Alex itself, who is having role employee ID 102, name is Alex, designation is HR, and I want to change the salary of Alex. That is 35,000. From 35,000, I want to change the salary for 45,000. So what can I do here? First of all, I will get the data. EMP is equals to, or simply I will execute this command. So in the EMP object, now we are having the data about 102 employee ID, that is the data of Alex. Now here I will put emp salary is equals to 45,000. I'm just changing the salary field. Okay, emp salary is equal to 45,000. Yes, let's confirm first. Now you can see the employee salary is 45,000. But this salary is not reflected on the database. This salary is only present in the memory of our local computer. Let's see here, the exact salary is 35,000 only. But I want to make the changes in the database. I want to make this reflection, this 45,000 in the database. So again, the same method I will have to execute, that is save. Basically, the save method is two-in-one method. If we are having a new object and a new data with new primary key value, the save method will insert the row inside the database table. And if we are having the object with the older primary key value only, then it will update the data in the database table. So suppose I'm executing emp.save, the data is saved. Now let's see, let's confirm in the SQL table. Now you can see here the database table is now reflected with latest value, that is 45,000. Okay, so this is how we can perform the update operation. So basically save method is a two-in-one method that is responsible for inserting the data as well as for updating the data. Let's go for delete operation. How can we delete the data? So let's suppose I just want to delete the employee ID 102 only. I want to delete this employee Alex. Simply what I will do, emp dot delete. There is a delete method. I'll execute this delete method and run the code. You can see here the data is already deleted. And once again, when I executed the same command, it could not delete it. Why? Because the data was already deleted from the database. Actually, two times I deleted the data. So only once it will delete and it will return me how many values it deleted. And second time when we execute this command, it will not delete. Why? Because the object is already gone from the database. So this was the basic execution of all SQL commands in the database. And with the help of shell, we can perform all kind of database related operations very easily. But now the next thing, what is it that I want to perform all these operations with the user interface? Why? Because I'm not going to work on shell or my users are not aware about this shell. We have to give the user the interactive panel and the interactive systems. So for that thing, what I will have to do, I will have to build a simple user interface, and based on the user interfaces, I will have to execute this command. So how can I do it? Let's see. So first of all, I will exit from the shell. How to exit from the shell? I will execute exit command or the exit method. So you can see we are now exited. Now, I hope you all are satisfied that how do we perform the CRUD operation we have done with all these four steps. Now, the fifth step, that is integration, the most important thing, that how do we integrate these operations with the web app? How do we build a web-based form that will be responsible to insert the data into the database, or a table, the SQL table that will be responsible for fetching out the data from the database table. Okay, that thing we have to learn. So first of all, I will have to make some configuration. What are those configuration? I will have to make the configuration in URL, that I will have to build the URL, and uh, I will have to link this. Wait, I will have to link this application, this employees application, with the company project, or the employee application's URL should be accessible from the company project. So how can I do it? So to perform these operations, I will have to open the urls.py file in the company. Here I will have to make the URL pattern. You can see here, there is a URL pattern for admin, and we are having admin.sites.url. Let me run the command, run the project. I will show you what I want to say. Python manage.py run server. I'm running the server. The server is up and running. And I will open the output window. This is our output window for Django project. And when I put /admin, it is opening me the administrative portal. Same like that, when I put the /employee, I want to open the portal for employees, like employees data I want to show in this employee URL. So first of all, I will have to make the entry of this URL into the Django system or my project system. So how can I do it? So first of all, I will have to create one thing in this employees folder. I will have to create a urls.py file, urls.py. These will be the URLs specific to the employees application. Okay. So inside this urls.py, I will be putting all the URL patterns for which are respected to the employees URL. So you have to import one module that is from Django.urls import path. Okay. And then we have to create again, we have to create the URL patterns. The URL patterns is equals to, I have to build an array. Inside that array, I will put the index files and all, everything I'm going to put here. So I will write path method followed by the comma. Now what will be there in the path? The path will be having three values. First, the first value is the actual URL or the URL parameter. Number two is the view we are going to bind with it. Currently, we are going to bind the view that is index. Okay. Currently, we have not yet implemented the view index, but very short, we are going to bind it. And the name I'm going to give it as index only. So basically, when I execute the employee's URL on my web page or the web browser, this index URL will come alive and employees application will be displaying me the view for this respective URL. So where will be my view? That view I have to define inside this views.py. Okay, so inside this views.py, I have to put the view. Okay, how I'm going to put the view? So to put the view, I am going to put here a method def index. Okay, and inside this index, I'm going to put return return uh, render render, and inside this return render, I will put one parameter you have to give over here, that is request parameter, and I'll put here render request comma index.html. So this index.html file will be coming from the folder. I have to create a folder named as templates folder. First of all, you have to understand that Django projects are working or Django projects are following the MVT pattern. What is MVT pattern? MVT pattern is nothing but the model, view, and templates pattern. Model, as we have already seen, model is nothing but the operational classes for your data. V is nothing but the view. The view means which kind of data is going to be represented on your front end, and the template means how that view will be getting a structure. So templates are nothing but your HTML files with the basic structure of your web page. And inside those web structures, we are going to put the data from where the data is coming from models.py, and to bridge the models.py and your HTML templates, we are having the views. Okay, so inside these views, I'm going to put the index.html, which is coming from again the templates. Okay, so to build the templates, we are going to create a folder inside employees. I'm going to put a folder named as templates, and make sure the name should be templates only. If you are putting any another name, it will not work. You have to put the templates, and inside the templates, I'm putting the basic HTML file. Let's say index.html. Inside the index.html, I'm going to open uh, graph, like I visit the U. Okay, so as soon as I visit this URL, the web page of index will get opened in front of me. So we have built urls.py for employee, and we have to import the view object also. To I'll just import over here. How can I import? So to import it, we have uh, from dot uh, just a second, from dot import view. Okay, and I will have to put here views dot index. So this problem is now resolved. Now what I will have to do, I will have to go inside the URL patterns of your main project. And here I will have to add a new path that is for employees, and the URL pattern will be taken here with include keywords. So include, you have to also import include. So comma separated path, comma include. And inside the include method, you are going to pass the parameter as employees dot URLs. That's it. So you have put it here. Now let's try again by executing the command. I am running the server now. Let's suppose I run it. Let's try with restarting it. You can see it is showing 404 error, right? That means the path was not found. Let's try with migration first. Okay, let me check what is the issue over here. We have added all the URLs. Actually, I have put here employees. I have to just put employee, then it will work. Just because of typo, we were facing the issue. Now you can see the output is displayed. Welcome to employee management system. Just one typo and we were in the trouble. Uh, okay, so you can see here the output is displayed. The first page, the landing page of our application is displayed. This is the simple web page I have created for testing purpose. And by the way, I'm going to build another thing, that is I'm going to prepare a form. And inside that form, I'm going to build the user interface, and inside the user interface, I'm putting all form fields, and based on the form fields, I will be executing the respective CRUD operations. Okay, so first of all, let's open the templates again. Inside the templates, I'm first going to build an employee page. So new dash employee dot html. This page I have created, and another page I'm going to create is all dash employees dot html. So first page is dedicated for uh, displaying all the employees data from the database table. And another one is to uh, add any new employees data into the database table. So first of all, I will prepare the forms for displaying all the data for employees. So how can I do it? I'm just going to create a table. Inside this table, I'm going to put T head. I'm just building the table structure. What are the fields in our SQL table? Those are ID, name, designation, mobile number, and salary. So employee ID, or just put ID, then name, designation, and what is that? Mobile number and salary. Okay. So this is another table I have created, and inside the table body, I'll be having the rows like 101, Waseem. Just currently I'm putting the dummy data. Actually, I'll be replacing it with the actual values from the database. Designation as trainer and mobile number. Okay. And then salary. So salary as 50,000. So first of all, what I will have to do, I will have to include this template in my URLs. Not in URL. First of all, I will have to build a view for this template. So I'm going to create another page, def all employees request, and here return render request, and give the comma. The second name you are going to give is the name matching with this file, that is all dash employees.html. Okay, so we have done this thing. And the third thing I'm going to build, currently I'm going to build for new employee. So for new employee, again, new employee method I'm creating with the request parameter, and return render request and new dash employee dot html. Right? So new dash employee dot html, we are going to bind this HTML template with this URL or this view, that is new employee, and all employees dot html. This template I'm going to bind with this all employees. Okay. Now we have created two different view functions. Now we also have to make the entry of these two functions in the views.py. Sorry, in the urls.py. So again, I'll put two paths over here. First path will be for all employees, and second will be for new employee. Views dot all employees and views dot new employee. The name also I will put it as similar, all employees and new employee. Okay, I have done these three things. Let's test them. Suppose inside the employee, suppose I put all employees. We are having a blank web page, and let's suppose I put new employee. Okay, something is wrong here. I have done the wrong mapping. Let me check. All employees, new employee. Okay, let's rectify it later on. First of all, we have to do our the primary goal we have to achieve. We are able to see the database table over here. The dummy values we are having represented over here. I just want to represent the actual value from the database. So how can I do it? So for that thing, first of all, I will have to go inside the views.py, and inside this views.py, I'm going to disable this thing first. Currently, I'm not going to work with this new employee, and inside the urls.py also, uh, I'm going to disable it. I'm just working with all employees. So all employees is my HTML table, voila page. Inside that, in all employees. Oh, I'm so sorry. I got to know the mess. I'll have to put it inside the all employees table. Okay. So if I go back and refresh, now we can see all employees are displayed over here. So again, open the views.py where I'm going to fetch out all the data from the database. So to fetch the data from the database, I will have to execute the command, the models command. How to execute that command? Let me write over here. I will have to build the object employees, or I will just put EMP, or I will put all EMP. All EMP is equals to employee dot objects dot all. The same method which we executed in the Python shell, the same method we have to execute over here, and we have to import the employee class from the employee model. So I have added the employee module inside our all employees page. For just for sake of confirmation, we will run the project as it is with the simple command line print statement all EMP. Let's first check whether all employees are displayed in the command terminal or not when I reload this web page. So I have reloaded the web page, and let's see the output is printed or not. So you can see here the query is successfully executing, and we can see the query set is returned in the database from the database in our print statement. So we are successfully able to fetch the data from the database with all method. Now I want to represent that data on this HTML table. I want to represent that data in the HTML table. How can I do it? I am having the data in this all EMP variable, or we can call it as the query result. Now I will have to send this data to the HTML page. How can I do it? Just give comma and put here employees is equals to all EMP, or I will put all employees. All employees is equal to all EMP. Number one thing I have to do here. And number two thing, I will have to, that means I have passed the result set.
Uh, I want everyone, guys, if you have any question, kindly write it down in a Q&A tab. Waseem is facing network issue today. We are really sorry for that. Kindly please drop your question in a Q&A tab. We are going to start with the Q&A session soon.
Okay, lot of interruptions are happening just because of network issue.
Yeah,
So yeah, okay. The screen is visible.
it's visible.
Okay, okay. So I'm going to write the template engine code over here. So first of all, I will have to iterate over the data. So I will have to execute the for in loop, the same loop as I have used in the command terminal some time ago. Now it's gone. Okay. So for EMP in employees, or I'll call it as all employees. And then here I will put another closure statement, that is end for. Okay. And here I will now remove all the comments, and I will replace these values with the actual values coming from the database. And you know how to display them using the two curly brackets, put emp dot emp id. Make sure you're using the same field names as we have written inside the model. Rather, you can copy them directly to overcome any issue you are going to face. So go in the template again, EMP name, EMP designation, EMP mobile, and EMP salary. So EMP ID, then another one is EMP dot EMP name, then EMP salary, sorry, EMP designation, and then okay. So this much configuration we have done. So this will be fetching out all the data from the database. But not currently. If we execute it, you will face the error. As I told you, you are going to face the error. What is the error? You can read it here that render got an unexpected keyword argument all employees. And again, we cannot directly pass the query result to this HTML template. So what is the solution for it? The solution is that you have to bind the data in a dict. You have to create a dict or dictionary, and inside the dictionary you have to put this data, and then you are going to send that data to the HTML page. So for that thing, I'm going to create here a simple variable named as context, and inside this context variable, I'm going to put the data like this: all employees, all EMP. So this entire all EMP data I'm passing through this. That's it. Now let's try. So in short, what I'm doing here, the query result I'm putting inside all EMP, and all EMP I am going to identify with the name all employees. And that context variable I'm passing to the HTML page, so that inside the HTML page in templates, I'll be having all employees, and from all employees, I will be fetching out all the data and putting on your result set or the output window. So let's rerun the code. Now you can see we have successfully fetched out the data from the database and represented on your HTML web page. Uh, the thing is very simple here. Suppose I just want to like integrate the bootstrap and all, everything I can do. Let's suppose uh, get bootstrap.com to make your web applications more user friendly or user interactive. We have a very nice CSS framework, Bootstrap. So I will just integrate that Bootstrap framework with my web page. Put here. Actually, you have to put the script in the end of your body. So I have added the CSS of Bootstrap and JavaScript of Bootstrap. So you can see some changes are reflected over here. Now this web application is Bootstrap friendly. So make it more alive. Just I'm putting the Bootstrap related stuff, nothing special. Okay. And I'm just putting all the table stuffs as it is. So this is how you can represent your data. Okay. So the same way we can perform the respective operations for insertion of the data, updation and deletion of the data. And you can achieve your whatever the goals you want to put and execute for your uh, web-based applications. I hope you all are getting the clear idea what exactly I want to show. Now, uh, this was all about for the today's session that building the Django projects, building any web application, integrating the database with your Django application, and performing the CRUD operations, and again, integration the CRUD operations with your actual templates which are present in your websites or web applications. So that's all about today. So before starting the Q&A session, let me tell you that I'm working in this training field since 8 years and trained lot many people to build and deliver their web applications, cloud-based solutions, and in various programming domains. So any of you are interested, you can directly contact me so that I will be available for you. And I would like to say thanks again to Shine.com that they have considered me and given me such kind of beautiful opportunity to interact with you people and share my basic knowledge with you. Thank you very much.
We are also thankful for you, Waseem. So, yeah, I would like to request everyone, guys, please write down your question in Q&A tab. And till then, I am launching a webinar session feedback. So kindly fill that as well and kindly write down all your queries. So, Waseem, let's start with the first question. Abid Khan is asking, please
Hmm.
show post form to create EMP from slash create page.
Okay, okay. ठीक है, I will show it to you. To create the data and to post in the database, I have to first create a form. Are you able to see the screen?
Yeah,
Yeah. So first of all, inside this page, I will have to create a form. And inside this form, I will have to mention the post method. Action I'm not going to put here. I'm just going to put the method as post. And one more thing I will have to make, that is, I will have to put the CSRF token over here. That is for security purpose. That is a cross-site uh, the scripting which we are doing to maintain the security. We are have to put here CSRF token. Okay, and then I will have to create a form. The form I will be mentioning and creating from the code. That how to create, I will show you. Just put okay. and I'll have to create the button as submit button, and inside this I will put uh, value as submit. Okay, and then number two do is I will have to store this data into the database. But to store this data, first of all, I will have to render the form. So to render the form, I will have to write one more code, that is the forms.py. So first of all, I will create forms.py file in my employees folder, forms.py. And inside this forms.py, I have to write some code, that is, I have to define the method to represent that respective form. So I'll have to import from Django, import forms. This basic import I will have to work on. And number two thing, I will have to also work with the models. Why? Because we are going to transmit the data to the models, and from the models, we are going to transmit the data to the database. So I will have to import uh, models, sorry, from import uh, employee. Okay. And then I will have to create a class for employee form. I have to create a class employee form, which is inherited from forms dot model form. So basically, this model form is nothing but a template which is provided from the forms module in Django. So we are going to inherit it, and after inheriting we have to write an inner class, that is meta class. That meta class is responsible for putting all the metadata about this employee form, in which I will be having the model definition. Which model I'm going to use? I'm going to use the model employee. And what are the fields we have present in the employee model? The fields attribute I'm going to define, fields is equal to, will have to mention the exact fields which are present in the models.py. So let me close all the respective URLs first. Okay. So I have employee ID, employee name, employee designation, mobile number, and salary. So I'm not considering employee ID. Why? Because employee ID is already auto increment key. So I just creating the form for rest of the fields like name, designation, mobile number, and salary. So employee name, then designation, EMP designation, then, sorry, from here. And this will be helping me out to create my form. Now, what can I do? First of all, I will have to load this form in my given created view. So I have the views.py. I'm making this view open again. And we have the template file for views for creating new employees, new dash employee.html. So go inside the templates, new dash employee. Here we have created the form. You can see this. We have the form URL. So form.asp, this will be loading all the fetching and loading all the fields that is given over here. It will load all the field data from that respective list of this form fields, and it will create the fields accordingly over here. And creating the fields, then we can submit the data. So we are going to submit the data to a respected view, and that view is nothing but the new employee view, right? So now inside this new employee view, I'm going to write the same wala method. So first of all, I will have to fetch the data from the form. The form data, I'm creating a variable form data. And here I'll write employee form, the same name like this, employee form. Okay. And employee form will be requesting the data from post request dot post. So what is employee form? We have not yet imported. So first of all, import it. So we have imported employees.form, employee form. So that form is now imported. And whichever the data I will be typing over there, that data will come here inside this form data object. Let me show you. I'll just print this form data so you can see. Wait, I have commented the binding, URL binding I have commented for new employee. So I have to uncomment it. So new employee binding I have done and run the code. Uh, just a second. We have to check for the correction. Let me check it. I have to write some more code over here to check whether we are having the data or the form loaded on the screen or not. So for that thing, first of all, I will write here the validation code if request dot method is equals to post. If I am sending the request with the post method, then wait, post method should be in the single quotation. And inside this post method, I'm going to define this form data. Okay, and print this form data. If it is not the case, inside the else, I'll have to build the form object again. Form data is equals to employee form, the blind object. And here I will return the rendering of new employee.html. And in the end, I will send the dictionary of my form also. That is, form will be my form data. Now let's check. Perfect. We are now having all the labels like employee name, designation, mobile number, and salary. Okay. And once the submit method has executed, uh, this if wala block will get executed and your data will be submitted to the database. Okay. And after submitting the data, what I want to do, I just want to again redirect somewhere that your data was successfully submitted. This kind of success page I want to create, right? So for that thing, I will create a new template. Success.html. Okay. And in this success.html, I will just put your data saved successfully. Okay. And I want to build a view for it. Dev success page. Okay. Inside the success page, I will have a request and then I will just return the template return render and request, comma, success.html, right? And also I have to bind this URL, success page wala URL to my urls.py. So path success page, comma, views dot success page, comma, name is equals to success page. And in the end, what I will do, once I have done the operation, I will redirect. So how can I redirect over here? Return redirect to success page. I have to add this redirect method in the import statement. So return redirect. Okay. So let's do it now. Currently, this data will not be getting stored in the database, while because just we have created the fields. Suppose I create any new entry. Let's suppose Alice. Designation of Alice is development lead or developer. The mobile number. So 10-digit mobile number and salary I have put as 69,000. So when I click on the submit button, you are getting your data is saved successfully. But if I show you in the SQL database, it will not be present over there because we have not yet saved. So what you have to do, simply put here form data dot save function. Okay. You can see print form data is just printing the output. I will show you here. When I run the code of the form, you can see here the object is received like this. Okay. No. I'm sorry. The data is not printed here. No problem. Okay. I'm just going to save the data. The form data dot save. As I already explained, you save method is responsible for saving the data. To have save executed the save method, let's run the code once again. I'll click on this submit button. Now it is showing your data saved successfully. Now let's check. And here you are. Your data is now represented with new auto increment value 104 Alice developer. So you can try with another data. Let's refresh. Like I want to put the data for Bob. Designation for Bob is AI engineer. Mobile number and salary will be like 95,000. When I click on submit button, data saved successfully. And even you can check it on all employees. So here you are able to see all the data which we have already inserted. So I hope you have got the answer of question.
Okay, so can we move to next question?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so Sudarshan was asking, sir, why we are connecting SQL database with Django? What is this purpose, sir?
Actually, the database is the, you can say, the main oil for your software. Whichever the software we are operating on, that works on the data. And we need to store the data into the database. There are the databases present in market, like SQL databases and no SQL databases. SQL databases are basically the relational databases which store the data in the terms of relationships, and NoSQL databases, which are the document-oriented databases. The best example is MongoDB, actually. And in SQL databases, the famous ones are Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server. So these database softwares are responsible for storing, holding all the entire data of your application. And we are going to connect these databases with the software to work in a smooth flow. Why? Because the database will be holding all the data, relational values, all the entities, and Django is an application software which is allowing you to build the basic web applications. Now, the web application means it will require the data and
I'm so sorry, guys. He's joining and he will definitely answer all the questions.
yeah. So basically, the data and Django. SQL is holding the data and Django is holding the web application. So to bridge between them, we have to connect the database. I hope the answer for the question.
Yeah. And Arun is asking, what is render keyword?
Render keyword. Okay. Again, I'm going to share the screen first. Okay. So you can see here, I have put all the HTML design in HTML pages. The web design I have put in the HTML pages like index.html and success.html and all employees.html. So these are the structures of the pages. Okay, whichever the web page I am visiting, the structure is getting loaded. The structure is getting loaded from the views because I'm not directly running any HTML file. I'm running the HTML file behind this URL. You can see the URL 127.0.0.1 8000 employee, all employees. So when I open this all employees, this table wala web page is getting open. When I call the new employee, this form wala page is getting open. So two different URLs, two different web pages I'm opening. And to open all these web pages based on the respective URLs, we have to bind these web pages with these respective views. Just like for index, I have bind the index. For all employees, I have bind this all employees.html. For new employee, I have bind this new employee.html. And to open it or to interpret it on the web browser, I will require the render. Rendering means, in short, like scanning the web page and loading the structure on the web browser based on the given structure in code and given provided data. So basically, render keyword is responsible for uh, binding the URL with the web page and loading the content on the web page.
Okay, so next question is this is asking by like Mayank is asking, the Django is an orchestrational tool, yes or no?
Django, yes, we can do the orchestration in it. By default, we are doing the orchestration because as it is, we are performing creation of different modules and reusing those modules. So yes, it is an orchestration.
Okay, and another question is what are migrations in the Django and why are they important for managing a database schema?
Because whenever we perform the migrations, so as we are creating the models in our Django application, whichever the models we have bind here, those have to be informed, those have to be notified to the SQL database. And for doing this thing, we need the migrations.
And another question is how can I prevent common database error like duplicate records, missing relationships, and inconsistent data?
Okay, so to maintain the relationship, again, you will have to, I will just show you one thing over here. Like we have created the employee. Now let's suppose the employee is belonging to any respective department. So what I will do here, I will create a class department. And for the department, I will create models dot model. And this is the department class, which is having depth ID, which is again models dot autofilled primary key true. Okay, and then department name models dot text field or char field with maximum length of 30 characters. And okay, we are having only two attributes. Now I want to make the relationship between this employee and the department. So simply what I will do here, I will add the emp depth. Emp depth is equals to uh, I'll put here models dot foreign key, and inside the foreign key again I will have to mention the like the relationship that from which data I want to build the relationship, so that I will have to mention the department. Like the department is our first thing, and I'm putting here like this. So department is a table, employee is another table. So every employee belongs to a respective department. So foreign key will be managing that every employee is getting the department ID from this department table only. And this is how the relationships are managed. Again, as I have given here, that primary key attribute as true. Same like that, if you want to put the data consistency, I just define the not attribute like a unique attribute. Suppose I want to put the field unique, not here. I want to put the mobile number field unique. Like there should not be any another mobile number repeating in the field or avoiding the duplication. So I will just put
I'm sorry to everyone, guys. Today there is a lot of network issue. We are really sorry for that.
Yeah. Next question, please.
So we are with the last question here. Okay. What are the best practices for designing a scalable database schema in Django?
Best practices are, first of all, you will have to maintain and manage the relationships. What are the basic requirements of your software and which kind of data you are going to operate on your the system is having the flow of the data. So this thing you have to keep in mind, and based on these things only, you will have to build all the models of your database and do the migrations. And yes, you also have to check for the security concerns that your data should not be any kind of security threats or anything. Rest of the things are as it is, normal things.
Okay, so we are, thank you, Waseem, for answering all the questions. And do you have anything to convey to the audience who is like watching you right now, or they will watch you like after some time in future? Do you have anything?
No, nothing. I'm very happy that I could deliver all the questions and answers to all of you. Meanwhile, anybody from you, from the audience, anybody want to learn anything from me, you can just call me, you can contact me. I'm putting here my contact number. So this is my contact number. You can contact me or WhatsApp me. This is my personal WhatsApp number and contact number. So you can record it and call me anytime. I'm just putting all these things also in the chat session. Uh, so you can, Preeti, you can spread it to the audience.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Wasim. Thank you for delivering such a grateful session. And we are grateful for our audience as well who joined us today. If you guys still have any question, please feel free to reach out to us or connect with Wasim directly. And the session
Yes.
recording will be available on our Shine.com's YouTube channel and LinkedIn account. So you can revisit it anytime. We look forward to having you join again in upcoming session. Until then, take care, keep learning, and have an amazing day. Thank you once again to everyone. Thank you, Wasim.
Thank you.